Good morning, friends. It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. It is a beautiful, beautiful day. Our cool temperatures have finally arrived, and we are doing some changing out of containers today. So it's absolutely beautiful. The high today is 67 degrees Fahrenheit. This feels so good. And we have blue skies. We had fog up till about now, which is noon, lunchtime. And now the fog is clearing and the sun's coming out, but it is just gorgeous. And we're going to have low temperatures like this for the next 4 days, which I'm super excited about because there's a lot of work to do out the farm. It's a lot easier to do that when it's nice and cool. So what you just saw was me turning one of these wine barrels that I've got. It's actually a resin wine barrel. I've had it for about 10 years. Turning that into a fall container. Now, normally, up until this year, I've always pulled out the tomatoes and stuff and put tulips in, tulip bulbs, and then cover them and protect them from the squirrels. And last year I failed. I did them, but the squirrels still got in and they ate a lot of them. And so I thought, why don't I just put some edibles here? The squirrels might still come in, but I think it's fun to switch things up. And I would like to grow some edibles here. So what we've got, and it looks very tiny right now because it is, but this is a Vanta Fast cabbage. This is a white cabbage that grows very quickly. I think it's like a 45-day turnaround, which is nuts, but that will fill in this whole space here and even start to shade these little plants out. But these are violas and mums, and they will last all winter into the spring. I mean, the mums will die back a little bit, but they'll be there forever because they're perennial. And these violas can handle the temperatures we get in the winter. So it looks nice because it's nice and fresh, and to clear that out felt good. I've been hesitating on this other one. As you can see, there's still quite a few tomatoes on here that are not even close to turning. But the majority of the plant is dying. I think I'm just going to pull it out, get the same setup going here. Then we'll be good to go. We'll just have unripe tomatoes on the counter that we can either let ripen or we can do something with them. There's plenty of tomatoes still in the front garden, which don't have to come out yet. So plenty of time to let those guys ripen. The other thing I'm going to do before I leave this area is trim things back, make it nice and tidy. Not the lavender, because the lavender is still blooming. This is the second flush we've gotten this year, but these dying dahlia stalks, and I just want to clean it up a little bit. It won't take much, just kind of even it out, and then that will look much better going into fall. Then we have 2 containers by my bedroom that I'm going to switch out as well. Those were not successful this year. I think that's the part of the property that's hottest all the time. It's direct sun and it's baking up against the house, and so I think things just struggle there. But in the wintertime, it gets more sun than any other place on the property, so it's actually a good place to put some things. So we have just a couple of decorative things that are going to go in there, and we'll talk about that when we get over there. But for right now, I want to get started on finishing this part, and then we'll move on to those new containers. Oh gosh, I think that looks so much better. So much better. Now I know that it's kind of, everything looks tiny in here, but I'm fine with that. It's nice and tidy. And those fast Vanta cabbages will get huge very fast. And these plants were suffering. You can see that mom doesn't look so great in the in the 4-inch pots, because it didn't matter how much I watered them, they were drying out really rapidly. And we've had hot temperatures up until today. So this looks so much better, so tidy. The lantana, this is all perennials in here, and they are all finally really coming into their own in this second year. So we've got lavender, lantana, weigela, which has never done anything. I think I'm gonna pull it out. You can't even really see it. Yarrow, and we've got some dahlias in there that I cut back, as well as some lisianthus that I also cut back. So they're just looking gorgeous. And the lavender, really important right now for bees, since the bees don't have a whole lot of food. Although I gave my bees a whole box of wet frames with honey that I had meant to put in back in their hives a couple months ago, but I just put the things out there, and they have cleaned those frames. They're beautiful, and they've taken all that honey and nectar and stuff, and they put it into their hive. So that's good food for them for over the winter. But this just looks so much better. So once the lavender is done flowering and those flowers die back, I will trim back everything so they're all the same level, and that keeps the lavender from getting woody, and it will make it even more bushy next year. So I'll actually take it down. This is all new growth. I will take all this lavender down, probably take it off that much. And what that will do is prevent the woody stems from getting taller and taller every year. Basically, you're keeping it kind of low to the ground shaped, and you'll always get fresh, beautiful growth with more beautiful flowers. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the plants for the back here, and I'm gonna go change my shirt. It is finally warm enough in the sun that it's not cold. It's been lovely to wear a long sleeve out for once, especially since I've been to the doctor. I don't know, you may be able to see weird bumps on my face. The doctor said she thinks it is allergic dermatitis. In other words, something I either ate or touched got on me, into me, and my immune system went haywire. It's spread everywhere, you guys, except for my legs and parts of my torso, but it's going crazy. And there was a couple nights there where I couldn't sleep. The itch was so bad, so bad. And as I've said, I'm allergic to Benadryl, so that was not an option for me. However, I did read online in the middle of the night when I was suffering that Claritin can work. So we happen to have Claritin. I took that, helped a tiny bit, but not very much. So the next day, thankfully, the doctor got me in, and she's currently got me on Zyrtec once every 24 hours, which is helping a lot, and a prescription kind of steroidal ointment to put on everywhere that it itches, which is tough because that's most of my body. So I'm being very careful with it because I don't want to clog a whole bunch of my pores with this ointment. So it's basically I'm showering twice a day because I have to wash the old stuff off to put on the second dose in the evening. But it is helping, but it's not gone. I don't expect it to be gone right away. But what I'm worried about is she said, if it's still spreading and you're not getting much relief by Monday, then you need 15 days on prednisone. And I'm trying so hard to avoid having to do 15 days on prednisone. I know it's helpful for some people, but I have enough symptoms with perimenopause that the prednisone will just exacerbate. So I'm really hoping I don't have to do that. So I woke up this morning and it had spread it's on my forehead now. I cannot use the steroidal cream on my face or near certain vital organs. So I have to be real careful, but I have been using it on the back of my neck, and that is so much better. It's so much better. So I'm thinking when I email her tomorrow and let her know what's going on, that she'll say, okay, let's give it another day or two because she knows I don't want to do the steroid unless I have to. All right, so that was a sidetrack, but if you see these weird bumpiness on my skin, that's basically it's like hives almost. And yeah, it's super itchy, especially when I'm out in the heat. So I'm glad it's going to be very cool the next couple of days. But let me go change my shirt into something a little bit cooler, and we'll go do these back containers. Okay, so these two containers, have got one right here and one right here. They had, well, I can't even remember what this plant is in the front here. It's got really pretty flowers on it in the spring. But I also put a determinate tomato in each. This is the only one that survived, and it did actually produce one tomato, but you can see it's just ridiculous. And then this one, the tomato died, but the seeds for the cardinal flower that I planted last year actually germinated, and so then we had a cardinal flower vine up that, so whatever. Anyway, I'm going to pull all of this out, put new soil and fertilizer in each of these, and then we're going to replace what's in there with this little collection right here. So this is a small sage called Hot Lips. Super cute, almost look like little snapdragons. And we've already got one of these on the property. They can get pretty big, but they stay kind of loose and airy, which I think will be really pretty. It'll be the tall piece for the back. And then in the front, we're going to have this really pretty red mum and this gorgeous silvery artemisia. So these two will just go in the front, and we'll have the Hot Lips in the back. And these are all perennials, so I might just leave them here. We'll see how they do over the winter. This will die back. This will die back a little bit, and so will this, but it'll all come back in the springtime. Oh, I think that looks so pretty. I'm so happy with that. So much better to have something living instead of something that's just limping along. Looks really, really nice. I mean, they'll perk up a little bit with the water. I did flatten them a bit watering them, but they were kind of dry. So I wanted to make sure that the root balls got nice and saturated, but that looks so nice. Only one more container to plant up. That's in the front, and it is by the garden gate. Oh my gosh, it's so windy out here. Okay, so we're in the front. I'll show you the containers we're going to plant up. So we have these containers here. There's one of each on either side of the gate. They have lavender in them. This one's not doing so well. This one's doing pretty good. It's blooming. I'm gonna pull these lavender out, pop them in over here. There's no daffodils, well, there's very few daffodils left over here. I'm just gonna pop them in there, make sure they get tons of water to settle in. We'll change out most of the soil, and then we're putting in these beautiful mums. And I think it will look so much better. Give a little pop of color up here, and also just it won't look so raggedy. looks so much better. So pretty. And they'll get more fluffy once they settle in a little bit. They're kind of loose right now because the root ball was nice and loose, which, you know, there's a lot of roots, but I'm glad that they were nice and loose. So that looks a world better. Just in case the camera quit before I realized it quit, what we've done is we have taken out the lavender that was in these two pots. I put it over on the side here into the ground, added new soil and some fertilizer, watered it in deeply, put new soil in the pots, and added the mums. And I think they just look so pretty. I'm so glad. This is a nice little touch to going into the fall. Okay, friends, that's going to be it for me today. I hope that you have a wonderful time in your garden. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.